So we're just doing decimals and fractions here, and it's converting between the two. A mixed number. It's a number that contains both a whole number, and a fraction. So that's something like 1 1/4. It has a whole number and a fraction. We call that a mixed number. That shouldn't be new to you.
I'm just gonna rip this apart.
When we talk about the next thing, a terminating decimal. Has anyone heard of the Terminator?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, he ends things. So a terminating decimal is a decimal number that ends. For example, 1.2. The decimal ends. Like it doesn't have numbers after it. Okay, it stops at some point. A repeating decimal would be a decimal number that continues or repeats without end. Like 1.3, and the threes would go on forever and ever and ever. So, do you know the symbol that you can put over top to represent that? Do you remember?
Pi.
No. Well, pi is a It doesn't repeat itself though. What's the symbol that you put over the number? Did you do this last year or not? Repeating decimals?
Like this? It's like a line.
1.3 with a line over it means that 3 repeats forever.
Did not know that.
Well, now you know.
We even use pi.
So, instead of continuing to write 3s forever, right, we'd be at school all day long, every day for the rest of our lives. If I said, write 1.3 repeating, well, there's a shortcut. Just put a line over it. Okay. Sometimes multiple numbers repeat, like 1.232, oops, not 233, 2323. In this case, you would put the line over the 2 and the 3. Because the 2 and 3 are repeating. Okay. So, all right. So, when you have a decimal and you want to make it a fraction, the easiest ones are the ones that terminate. And that's what we're going to focus on today. Okay? So, remember your place values. You have to know the place values. Step 1, identify the place value. What is the place value of the farthest right digit? This number, this 3 right here. What's the place value of that?
Hundreds.
Yeah, it's the hundredths. Okay? It's the hundredths place. The place value identified is the number uses the denominator. And the decimal number is the numerator. So the hundredths, so our denominator is 100. Because we're in the hundredths place value. The numerator, the top number, is the number that's our decimal. So that's 23. So when you have a decimal and you want to make it a fraction, you take your place value, put it on the bottom, take your decimal, put it on the top.
How do you know what place value is?
Well, you have to remember place values. The other trick is, how many zeros do I have here?
No, like 100. No, is it always the hundreds or the last number?
The last number. What are you going to look at? The last number. How many zeros do you have in the number 100? 2. How many numbers do we have in the decimal here?
3.
2 numbers. The number of decimal numbers you have is going to be the same number of zeros you're going to have on the bottom. Okay? So let's look at the next one. This is a mixed number, or going to be a mixed number answer because we have a whole number. So first step, write the whole number. What's the whole number in this? 1. Just the number 1.
Example.
Just this number 1 is the whole number. So you're going to write the 1. Now imagine the 1's not there. You're just looking at the decimal. It's a 7, right? So that 7 goes on top. What's going to go on the bottom? A 10 because it's in the tenths place. Or You could say we have one number in the decimal places, so we have 1 0.
Oh,
Okay? So that's going from a decimal to a fraction.
can you
I think that one's going to be pretty quick for you guys.
do this in your head?
Yeah, I did those. We did those in our head.
Yeah, but like, for like if we're doing the activity,
Yeah.
Do we have to show our work in
No, just like what we did here. Okay. All right. So now going the other way. Takes a little bit more brain power. We have to actually do some division here. This is where it's going to slow us down a little bit. Okay.
What? So close. What do you do?
All right. Step one, just divide. And we're gonna, if the decimal repeats, and our second example of decimal repeats, we're gonna put the repeating line above the numbers. So, first one, just take 3 divided by 4. Where's my decimal in the number 3?
Behind the 3.
Behind the 3. Okay, so I would encourage you to put it there, so that you know where it goes in your answer. Does 4 fit into 3?
No.
No. So put a 0 up there. All too often we're not lining things up right, and then our numbers don't come out right. So now you need to put a 0 here. How many times does 4 fit into 30?
7 times?
7 times.
I actually guessed that.
28. Subtract. 30 minus 28 is 2. Put another 0, bring it down. How many times does 4 fit into 20? 5 times. You subtract, you get a 0. If you get down and you get a 0 after your subtraction, you're done. You have an answer now. Our fraction is 0.75. And that's what we call a terminating decimal. It ends. The next one, we're going to take a mixed number and make it a decimal. Okay? So the whole number, the big number here, that goes to the left of your decimal place. So in our answer, we're going to have 5 point something. Okay? Now we're just going to look at the fraction. And we're going to do 2 divided by 3. Does 3 fit into 2? No, so put a 0 there. Does 3 fit into 20?
Yes.
Yes, how many times?
6.
6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. 20 minus 18 is 2. Put another 0, bring it down. What do you notice about your number?
It keeps repeating.
This 20 right here is the same as 20 right there. So we're going to do what? What's going to happen? Our decimal is going to keep being the same. And we could keep going, right? We could say 18, subtract, you get a 2. Like, you don't need to keep going. Once you figure out that it repeats,
I'm still going.
then your answer is
It's 666.
5.6. And how do we represent it repeating? The line over top of the 6. So don't let the whole number goof you up. That just gets moved over. The fractions of piece we got to do the division on.
So if it repeats, like you just
If it repeats, you would just you just need to write one number. Now, if it's 2 numbers that repeat, sometimes you'll get 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5. Then you do the 65 and put the line over both of them. Okay?
What's the line above?
That tells us that it's repeating. So, why do we do this? Well, sometimes we want to compare things. Maybe you're at the store and you're trying to compare this thing here says there's 2/3 of a cup in it, and this thing here says there's 0.7 cups in it. Well, which one has more? You don't know, so we need to compare. So sometimes we have to convert to compare. My suggestion in this is you're going to pick one, or you're going to make them all fractions or make them all decimals. I like comparing decimal numbers better than fractions because I don't have to make a common denominator. Because when you have fractions, you got to think about, oh, how do I make the denominator the same? And in this case, I've got 2 decimals already, so I only have to do 1. So in this one, I would make the fraction a decimal. So I would just do division real quick and just do 1 divided by 5. And that's 0. And then 5 into 10 goes in 2 times. So I have the decimals 0.5, 0.2, and 0.37. And I need to put them in order. So which one's the smallest, Happy?
0.2.
0.2 is the smallest. Which one's the next smallest? Olivia? 0.37. Which one's the biggest then?
0.5.
0.5. I heard a couple people saying 0.5 was the second smallest.
What?
Remember, this is like 0.50 and 0.20. So now you're looking at 20, 37, or 50, right? So make them the same length if that's tricky for you, okay? That is my suggestion, is to make them all decimals because I think it's easier to order decimals than fractions. But you could make them all fractions. You could say it's, we have 1/5, then you have 5 tenths, and you have 37 over 100. But then you're like, well, how do I compare those? Right? Then you got to make common denominators and all that extra stuff. So I would lean towards making them decimals because I think that's easier.